What up, what up, what up, sports fans all over the world? It's your boy Mac the Giants fan, and I'm here with my guys, Adam Costas, special guest El Capitan Rafael. Zion, unfortunately, has some business to take care of, is not able to make it tonight. And y'all know the one and only NYG Jeffy T always shining that light down ever so brightly. This is the Premium Takes Podcast. Let's go! Good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Premium Takes Podcast, man. First and foremost, I want to say thank you, El Capitan, man. Raphael, man, stepping in here, holding it down with us tonight, man. This is going to be a special WrestleMania preview edition.
Yes,
But
sir.
before we even get into that, we're going to start a little off with a little NFL draft talk right quick. We're going to warm y'all up with a little bit of NFL draft, and then we're going to ease on in to WrestleMania 40. But Adam Costas, my super dope co-host, please take the floor, my brother.
Well, thank you again, Raphael. Thank you for having us. I just wanted to say real quick, Jeff, we miss you. This show it's not the same without you. And wrestling is one of your big passions. Well, this one's for you. Putting that WrestleMania special out there for you, just so we could talk about it. He would love this show right now. He would love to be talking wrestling and draft talk. However, now that we got that out of the way and our pleasantries of bringing in our special host, I have a bone to pick with some people. Okay, the NFL draft is upon us. 21 days away. Actually, 20 days away if you count about 21 days away. I was right the first time. 3 weeks till we find out the answer to what our team, the New York Football Giants, are going to do. And, of course, the Raiders, our lovely guest host, his team will do. And we'll get to Raphael's predictions on his team or thoughts on his team in a little bit. But I have to get off my soapbox real quick. So I'm sitting here, and I've planted my flag in the quarterback island, as you know. I was there by myself for a very long time. As you can see behind me, it's now populated. We got city streets, lights. We got everything that you want here. But now I'm starting to see people leave the island. And they're starting to leave the island a little bit because they're thinking that this New York Giant team is going to lie down and take the wide receiver. And now they're all saying, well, there's no chance. No. As your fearless leader of Quarterback Island, I'm going to put my flag back down. There, by any means necessary. Malcolm X used to say that, right? That's what we need to do for our quarterback situation. By any means necessary. This is your fault, Joe Shane and John Mara, why we don't have any draft capital. You, John Mara, the meddling owner, decided not to trade Saquon Barkley because, we might sign him during the year. Well, wait, thank you very much for reading the room at 2-8. We weren't going anywhere. And anybody that was happy that we won, no offense, Mac, some of those games, okay, this is what you get. So you know what? I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm going to take a receiver. You know why? I'm not going to do that because that's not what's supposed to happen. You did this to yourself by not trading guys. You let guys walk out the building. You decided to give up a second-round pick to get Brian Burns when you could have got Bryce Huff from that went to the Eagles. You decided to do that. So now you need to go and get that guy. You can't sit back and relax and say, I'm okay with taking a receiver because what does a receiver do? What is a receiver going to do when Drew Lock and Daniel Jones can't get that fucking guy the ball? Okay? Check down Charlie is right. He's got a bad neck. You think that motherfucker's looking deep? He couldn't even see Kenny Galladay, and that guy's a skyscraper. You think he's going to see Malik Neighbors, who's going to have his hand waved so high in the air? He's gonna look like he's the King of England waving goodbye. Like that's what he's doing. That's what we're doing right now. Okay? This team, and then I hear this. This is what I love to hear. We'll just get one next year. Like, what are you talking about? What are we procrastinating? This is what we're talking about. We procrastinate. You know how we look at the quarterback position? You look at the quarterback position like when you remember when your mom and dad used to tell you, hey, we'll go to Disneyland when you get older, and now you're older and you haven't been to Disney World. Well, guess what? This is what's happening with the quarterback. You keep putting it off and putting it off. By the time you get to when you need to be good, you're not going to have a quarterback. So you go get one in the class This class. And I'll tell you one thing, too. You know what else doesn't make sense to me that everyone now is lying on the floor? You just convinced your owner, whose dumbass came out and said, well, if they find a quarterback they love, I am not going to stop them from taking one. And then you're going to tell me you're going to take a receiver? So then what happens next year? What are you going to tell John Mara then? Oh, John, by the way, I told you last year's class is great. This year's class is great. He's going to look at you like you got 5 heads. Like, dude, what are you doing to me? Okay, I just told you to back up the quarterback and you can go get one. You decided to go wide receiver, and then next year you're going to take a quarterback in a less good quarterback draft to take a fucking quarterback that you have no idea with. And no, oh, by the way, this is what I love. Oh, we'll get one next year. You don't even know where the fuck you're going to be drafting next year. And oh, by the way, you don't even know if Brian Dable's going to be here next year. So you're telling me that all the factors that have to happen, the holy trinity of fucking Trinities, has to happen for you to keep this guy around to get a quarterback next year. And then you know what's going to happen next year? The Giants are going to do what they always do, never fucking tank, be middle of the road, and then I'm going to hear this next year. Well, if they don't have conviction in a quarterback at fucking 15, they shouldn't trade up and get one. You know, we're going to have to give up our whole farm, and every excuse in a book to procrastinate to kick that shit down the road to 2026. That's what's going to happen. That happens every year. This year, last year, when I was banging to get a quarterback, oh, we weren't in range to get one. Now you're in range to get one, and there's 5 fucking first rounders on the board. And you're going to sit there and let them pass you by because you want to get a sexy Maserati that you can't even drive. You don't even have to drive stick. And you're going to buy a car that has stick, a stick shift car. You don't even have to drive that shit. Okay? And you're going to get a fucking Maserati. It's going to sit in the fucking drive in the garage doing nothing. Looking good when you come over. Hey, look at my Maserati. I can't drive because I don't know what the fuck to do. I just bought this car.
Yo, real quick, Adam. On Twitter the other day, I know this is a weird place to go. Twitter is always a funny place to go. But I was just scrolling down Twitter, and then I come around this GIF in this post somebody posted, and they were like, any wide receiver after he realizes Daniel Jones is his quarterback. And the GIF was the GIF of Antonio Brown ripping off his shoulder pads and running off the field. And I was just like, that is just like so on the money though right now. The fact that people just want, like you said, want to keep replacing, bringing some wide receivers in. Daniel Jones is the quarterback. He's now proven he's not looking down the field. He's not giving these guys opportunities to make plays. He's not making receivers better around him. What do you think just bringing another receiver is going to do to this offense when Daniel Jones is still your quarterback?
So let's play that out. Let's play that scenario out. Okay, so the Giants are trotting out, Monday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys coming to town. We're going to Big D this time, right? Because we did it. They brought us to New York, so now they're going to bring a Big D. They're going to be like, all right, Daniel Jones, you and your fucking shitty primetime record are going to roll up with 11 tight ends because we have like 7,000 blocking tight ends on the roster. Your new revamped offensive line, Devin Singletary, another running back called Turbo. Okay, and then you got fucking Malik Neighbors and the rest of your receiving core. The Giants drop back to pass. Daniel Jones, he has time. He has time. Up 5-yard dump off to Wan'Dale Robinson. That's what you're going to see because the guy doesn't like to take chances, even if his guy's Jalen Hyatt is blowing by motherfuckers, and he's not making the throws. The last thing I'll say about this too is this guy's neck injury has hurt his throwing motion. So now I'm going to hitch my wagon to Drew Lock, who, by the way, I'm rooting for, okay, because I've seen enough of Daniel Jones. So Drew Lock's my quarterback. If that's how Brian Dable wants to play the Titanic and go down with the ship, at least go down with the band with Drew Lock, because you already know that Daniel Jones ain't going to get you nowhere but fired. Okay, fired. That's another reason why you bring a quarterback. So this is what you're going to trot me out with come January. You're going to say undrafted free agent. I'm not even going to give him a quarterback. Don't even take a quarterback. Let's say there's no quarterback. Undrafted free agent, fucking Tom DeVito, Drew fucking Lock, DJ Daniel Jones, whose neck is bad. We're going up against the Cowboys defense, who's now got Mike Zimmer as their defensive coordinator, looking at you with Micah Parsons staring down at you, and I'm supposed to believe that guy is going to beat the Cowboys? Oh, by the way, 2 weeks later, we play the fucking Ravens, who are going to be licking their fucking chops to come get your ass. All right? This team has nothing on offense. We went from taking the best running back in the game, taking him off the team, and now you're going to get me one of the best receivers. And here's another thing I want to bring up for you non-quarterback lovers. Oh, you have to fall in love with one. You can't just take one. Well, your guys are willing to take any receiver, but then when it comes to quarterback, we have all this fucking stop. We can't take that guy. We can't take that guy. But if Roma Dunze falls to you, we can take him. Why aren't you fucking clamoring to get Marvin Harrison? He's the best receiver. If you want to go get the best quarterback, why don't you go get the best receiver? Why isn't that mindset the same way? That's the bullshit I'm talking about. And I just thank you for the 10 minutes of letting me rant, but I had to do it. I had to do it. Because you know what? I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of them kicking the can down the road and trying to force feed me garbage and telling me it's fucking Ruth Chris Steakhouse. Because it ain't. Okay? It's garbage. That's what it is. You ain't feeding me Ruth Chris. You're feeding me Ruth Crisp. Okay? That shit is shitty. Okay? That's shitty. I might as well eat out of a McDonald's garbage because that's what you're giving me every week. And then how am I supposed to be inspired when I have those two quarterbacks as my number ones? How am I supposed to be inspired? How does that bring hope? Oh, don't worry. We've got Malik Neighbors, though, for the quarterback next year. So now we have a guy that's here for next year, and he ain't even on the roster yet. But don't worry. We got Malik Neighbors, who, by the way, everyone complains about Darius Slayton. Well, what is going to happen when Malik Neighbors has 950 yards and 3 touchdowns? And you're going to be like, well, we drafted a 6th overall. I wonder what's wrong with him. Maybe he wasn't the right receiver. Maybe we should have got Robert Dudson. No, it's because you have a dumb quarterback who can't see the field. You have one guy who can't hit the broadside of a fucking barn, and you're going to sit there and blame something else. You know why Garrett Wilson is not Garrett Wilson that we think he should be after being Rookie of the Year? I wonder why. Could it be because there's a guy named number 2 throwing him the fucking football? And he couldn't throw the ball worth a damn, and we're sitting here wanting to draft a receiver. Haven't we learned? Haven't we learned from the Falcons? What did that get Arthur Smith? Oh, he's on the unemployment line. Good job, Arthur Smith. You draft all the skill position players and no quarterback, and guess what? You're on the unemployment line. Good luck.
Well, everybody, Adam, great stuff as always, man. Definitely appreciate you, man. Just take it down a notch for a little bit. Well, pass the mic over here to our special guest, El Capitan. He's a big time Raiders fan, aficionado, and I feel like he has some thoughts on the Raiders and what they need to do in this draft. And I'll give him the floor now.
I mean, this is gonna be like really interesting because we're not gonna take our same mistake as we're gonna do like the first draft. I mean, we were just drafted John Marcus Russell. It was like a totally fucking nightmare. And we're not going to send him off for the same mistake like over and again because right now to rebuild like the all defense. And I know that the John McDaniels and Dave Ziegler fiasco was like not that brave experiment that I go because that experiment between Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, it all fails out. It all screwed up. But right now we just got Tom Telesco, which is like a great experience, along with Antonio Pierce, which is like the new head coach. I mean, they could have drafted a lot of things because we still haven't involved like the whole defense. The whole defense. I mean, it's very simple because if they're gonna draft it out of the quarterback, especially at number 13, some persons don't want to see like JJ McCarthy. Someone they wanted Michael Penix Jr., someone they wanted Jaden Daniels, but it's connection of the LCU. I mean, when you have it like a guy sitting behind Gardner Minshew, I mean, obviously, they would be like the starter. When I would have get drafted at the number 13, sitting there the year and the ball, I mean, learning until they learn the offense, then Minshew is going to go. Do you have it happen at the 13 under the job so they come to stadium right there? I mean, if they acquire it, we'll be surprised for them enough for the ending up right now. But if we're going to definitely like at a drafter, like a quarterback, I don't know if it's going to be like at the first round thought. But I would love to see like a really talented prospects right now. For example, Terry Arnold, Quinton Mitchell, or Fuaga Fatinu at the first number 13. Then maybe after the last first, second pick of the quarterback. But if Bo Nix is going to be like very available around that time, but they're just hoping about Penix Jr. and Radley Will. It's not very true that they have it like a sitting down with under Minshew to like a year or two that above more than a deal. I mean, many teams, they just need a quarterback with some great positions and they're likely to fall at the number 13. I mean, that couldn't happen because I know that it's retired with us for the conference right now. It seems like, oh, Michael Penix Jr. is underrated. He has an injury report, but maybe it just doesn't assume it a bit because he doesn't have like the pro level of the NFL like Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes. I know for the injury reports, it's very scary. There's going to be like a risk. But I know he's very standing for the clean pocket. And his right receivers are overmatching. Like, he's very good at destroying for the motion, looks perfect. I know when it comes to the base pressure, that he needs like very manageable on the pocket when it gets like really, really ugly. But I think this is gonna be like an evolving over time right now because after we just lost against the Indianapolis Colts, I mean, certainly have we had the time to rebuild the defense. I know we had it at the top of the top because we just had Christian Wilkins, we had Malcolm Coons, we had Max Crosby, Robert Spillane. I mean, what else is gonna happen? And we gotta have to reduce it about with the positions that we together because right now, not only we just got out for the right receiver, the cornerback, also to the quarterback, also for the running back, because right now Josh Jacobs is not here. But I really right now because there's a lot of talent because they have the best of the class in every positions, including the quarterback. But I think the resistance rise right now. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of shocking surprises. And I know the experience from Tom Telesco because he was belong for the Los Angeles Chargers for over like almost more than a decade. But I think it's like the opportunity to make like a stamp look because there's a lot of talented guys we see like in another college football like this, but we had to take care about for the defense, and we're not afraid to take all of the doubts right now. Because whatever Antonio Pierce say, screw it up big because we're gonna do it at the big. So right now we're just gonna to Christian Wilkins and Gordon Mitchell. That's like the first step. But we need to involve a lot of more on defense, including the cornerback, the special teams, the linebacker, tackle, which is the most important, guard, safety. I mean, that could be like everything could happen. But if we're gonna figure out the defense whether it's good for the caliber, just do it. Because right now there's a lot of talented players in different positions, including for the college football. I mean, unexpected the expected right now. Because if we want to do the rebuild of the defense, let's just start with the defense, which is the most worry about it to be that caliber team.
Good stuff, man. Well said, Raphael. Really appreciate it, man. But look, like I said, guys, this is going to be this is a WrestleMania special. The rest of the show, we're pretty much going to start covering the WrestleMania card. Amazing card over the course of the next 2 nights. Over the course of the next 2 nights up in Philadelphia, man, and it's expected to be a very spectacle. You know what I mean? It's WrestleMania 40, the biggest WrestleMania of all time, and we're gonna get right into it, man. But one last thing about football, real quick. New York Giants, don't be idiots. Don't make me an idiot. Don't make my Adam an idiot. Do what you got to do. Do the right thing. Get your quarterback in there, man. Get your quarterback. Quarterback classes like this don't come around every year. Look at the guys we got on our roster right now. Daniel Jones, Drew Lock. That's from one quarterback class. That was a terrible year for drafting quarterbacks.
we got,
Okay?
we have both of them
And
on
we
the
got
roster.
two of them. We got two of them on the damn roster right now.
Almost
Two of
choked.
those guys.
Almost choked.
So put it in perspective that a group of guys like group of prospects like this don't come around every year. This is an opportunity to get a potentially special franchise changing player at the quarterback position. Don't fuck it up. That's it. And that's all I got. Now, what's going on, AK, man? Appreciate you stopping in, my dude. AK NFL Reality Check, man. Founder of the Hardcore Sports Network, man. No doubt indeed, man. But WrestleMania 40, night one. It's going down, man. And looks like what I'm looking at here is not only this list of the matches, but supposedly, potentially the order of the matches. And this looks like, if this is the case, looks like we're starting off tomorrow night with an absolute bang if this is the first match tomorrow night. And I'm talking about for the WWE Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley defending her title against Becky Lynch. And if that
Charlie
is the
Triple coming
first
in.
match to kick off night one, that is one hell of a way to start the show, man. Uh, we'll start with Adam on this one, man. Give me your thoughts on this big title match for Rhea Ripley, this big time WrestleMania match between two of the top women in the game right now. What are your thoughts? How do you feel? How do you think it's going down, brother?
Well, first, I'm in love with Rhea Ripley. I think she has done so much with the Judgment Day and come such a long way. I don't think she loses this match only because I think they give her WrestleMania moment as champion. I think down the road, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, something along those lines, I think that's when she'll drop the title as you're starting to see the cracks in the Judgment Day starting to form with obviously the Andrade and a few of those guys and the LWO coming probably looking to recruit Rey Mysterio's son. So I could see that down the line she loses focus, the title gets cost somehow down the way like that. But I just think this one, she deserves a chance to show that she's box office. And the only person at her level right now who I even think has jumped Charlotte Flair is Becky Lynch. Like whether you like Becky Lynch or not, you got to respect what she's done in this industry. You've got to respect how she's basically changed her personality and basically is the Ric Flair of the women's division. No pun intended. She is the man. That's the bar that she set, and that's the bar that she rises. However, while I do believe Becky Lynch has a chance to win, I ultimately think Nia Jax is going to come in and try to cost Becky Lynch the title so that, Becky Lynch still got her redemption on Nia, that there's still some bad blood there. I think you could still build a storyline. Rhea Ripley, like I said, to me, this is her moment. This is her time to shine. This is where you immortalize her and make her one of your faces of the franchise. You don't necessarily need to make her win the championships all the time, right? You don't have to do that. You could just make her the division, right? And like Bianca Belair was. Bianca Belair, I think her run went too long. I think this run is just right. Give her WrestleMania, and then tables, ladders, and chairs, and Extreme Rules. If that's where you wanted to drop the strap then. But that's where I'm going. I don't know about you guys. Raphael, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Mac, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think for the case of Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, I mean, Rhea Ripley was the biggest deal so far. I mean, it really fits at all because I know that I understand that they're gonna be like challenge at the WrestleMania, one of the biggest events. I mean, was very instrumental in moving up for the women's division to be like at about for the wrestling, but it was like at a very compromised with ability and dedication, but the physique and thanks to her, now we have a roster full of women who look like real fighters. I mean, if Rhea doesn't have like in a much competition during the reign, consider like it is return right now. But I
Right.
think that it just fell outside because I feel like Becky was like very like luster in the mic right now, but personally because it's just more than like a underdog, the little gene. But I think it's very like very appropriate because I feel like there's like a two potential women's out of the brain right now. I mean, this is gonna happen because the last year she made like a great move at WrestleMania in Los Angeles, and it became like one of the biggest spotlight. I mean, it doesn't have it much left to do because he has so many reasons how to go because the build it off it as painful as two top stars, meeting off of the biggest stage is clearly working because they're very interested because they want to know about the direction of the story. I mean, for taking for example, like a Lamie Morgan. I mean, it's not getting the cheers, but even though that she was supposedly like a deserve right now among for the his competitors, I mean, it's more that anything because right now it's getting like a nearly for her run, but I think it is more cemented that Rio's gonna beat everyone because I gotta tell you about this one. Do not mess with Rhea Ripley because she's very talented. And I know this is gonna be like the biggest spotlight, and she brought a lot of great stuff. So that she brought like intensity, aggression. I mean, this is gonna be like a really excited to fun to the watch. I mean, two powerful women at the ring. That could be like really good happening at the WrestleMania. But I will give it like a very props to Rhea Ripley to win that title and retain. And let's see what happened into the moment at the WrestleMania.
Good stuff, fellas. Look, Rhea Ripley, I think is definitely going to walk out of Philadelphia still the women's WWE Women's Champion. I think we're going to get there, and I don't know. I feel like
This is a
we're going
passing
to
of the
get. It's
torch
going to be
match.
some strange ongoings in this match, though. I don't think it's going to be as just cut and dry as we're going to get straight up one-on-one Rhea Ripley Becky Lynch. I think
Is
you'll
there
get
no
that for most
disqualification?
of the match. No,
Is it a
it's
regular
not at all.
match?
But I think it's a regular match. But I think you'll get. I think what's going to happen is I think, and people have kind of seem to forget about
She
this
needs
a
a
little
streak.
bit. People have seemed to forget about it a little bit. There was a couple other women a little bit involved in this storyline. You know what I mean throughout this build, and neither one of these women have a damn thing to do on WrestleMania on either night as of right now, as far as anybody knows. And I think somehow we're going to see Nia Jax and Liv Morgan have some form of an effect on this match, which is going to lead to something bigger
At
going
SummerSlam.
forward to like WrestleMania Backlash or something, whatever the next pay per view is.
Oh,
We
yeah,
see
yeah, yeah.
something to build towards that. If it's a fatal 4-way, something to that effect. I just feel like somehow
This
Nia
is going to
Jax
be a
and
good
Liv
fucking
Morgan
WrestleMania.
are going to have some kind of an effect on this match. I don't know. I'm just getting this vibe. I don't know if I'm giving WWE too much credit and thinking they would actually
What about Alexa
pull
Bliss?
some stuff off like this, but I just think that it's a possibility we see that. Something because I mean, you think right now, Liv Morgan, however you may feel about her, she's pretty one of the hottest women on the roster. Nia Jackson, same way, however
Yeah,
you
that's
may
good.
feel about her, she's one of them, top
Sorry.
female talents on the roster right now currently.
Jade
The fact that
Cargill,
neither one of
though,
these women have
there's this.
neither one of these women have a match, but neither one of these women have a match at WrestleMania, and they were part of this storyline a little bit and throughout the build, and I think that somehow it's going to come full circle, and somehow they're just going to have an effect on this match.
Well, I don't really
I'm
like
just
Nia
that's how I'm
Jax.
kind of looking at it.
Well, let me ask you this
I mean,
because I feel like this is the deepest women's division I've ever seen in my life. Like in my lifetime of wrestling, there are top women's stars across the board. I mean, if you like, I grew up with Trish Stratus and Lita. Those are my kind of attitude women, where those women did whatever they needed to do to win and help their team out. And I didn't see that for a while, but now like I'm amazed by Jade Cargill. Like I'm like, oh my God, put the belt on that woman right now. She is built to be a champion. Like it is just like when she came on. I don't really want to steal a segment, but what I'm saying is like you got Bayley, you got title, you got so many women that it's almost becoming like they're gonna have to make an intercontinental title at some point for the women because you're gonna have to feature more and more. I mean, because the men right now, I feel like the men are at a plateau. You either need to bring back like The Rock, or you need to start to push guys like Cody Rhodes and LA Knight and this. Otherwise, you're gonna be stagnant, and the women are gonna surpass you. They may not be as a draw, but let's be honest, Joe. Rhea Ripley's starting to become box office. Like literally, you going to see her. Like, oh my God, main event status. So the fact that she's number one, I don't know how I feel about it. I know you guys talked about it. I don't know how I feel about it. Like I like what you say, Mac. Like, oh, it's gonna be a banger of a match, so good to start the show. But also, it's like I don't want to waste. Like how WrestleMania does these wonky things where they have like this dumb like match, like I guess the intermission match. Like I don't want to waste a good slot on a match. I'm hoping that this is a tone setter match for the rest of WrestleMania. Like, oh shit, these two women bring down the house. Start WrestleMania off with a bang. I think they have two good stars who can carry the torch. I'm looking forward to this match. I'm kind of really excited. And no, normally I haven't been this excited about the women's division since like I told you, Trish Stratus and Lita, where they were actually wrestling. So
yeah, good stuff for sure. I mean, look, I think this will be something like people have been kind of on the fence a little bit about this title reign for Rhea Ripley, whether you believe it or
about
not.
what?
People haven't really been necessarily all that fulfilled or satisfied. They feel like could be potential to be for her to truly make a statement throughout in this title run. You know what
But
I mean? This is
you
a
can say
big.
that
This is
about all the title holders in WWE
well,
right
okay.
now. Like Gunther. I mean, how many times that guy put the title up? You know what I mean? Like how many times Rhea Ripley? Like I don't know what WWE's message is if this is the culmination of it, but I can't be mad at her title reign when I look over at fucking Roman Reigns, guys never there half the time, and I see Gunther never defending his title except maybe once in a while in a pay-per-view. And then I'm supposed to blame Rhea Ripley for being in the Judgment Day and just being dominant in her side of the division. It just gets on my nerves. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. And the other one, who's the other woman's title holder? Io Sky? Like, because she had a great title reign. I scoff at the people who laugh at Rhea Ripley's title reign. Give me a break.
I mean, it's just what it is. That's just out there. That's how people feel a lot around the world. They just feel like it's been not a memorable title reign, and it is what I mean. Look, she's really asserted her dominance in the women's division, but this is I think they're looking for her to get that true statement win.
I do
A
believe she
title
needs a
defense,
moment.
and this will be an opportunity. This will be an opportunity to do that. And I think, like I said, I think she leaves Philly with the title for sure. What's
Well,
going on, too, though, man? Thanks for
do you think
stopping
Rhea
in. Most
Ripley?
definitely appreciate you.
I'm sorry. Do you think Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax is box office? I don't think so. Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, that's box office. Because even if, let's hypothetically play devil's advocate, Becky Lynch walks away with the title, that is a great rematch a month later for Rhea Ripley to get her backlash revenge or whatever you want to
Yeah,
call it.
exactly.
Look at it. Like with Nia Jax, no offense, she doesn't really move the needle for me in any way. You either need to make that lady completely dominant, or
Mm-hmm.
she's just like a a specialty kind of like Omos type of person where you occasionally see her once in a while. Because other than that, she has no good wrestling skills. She's okay on the mic, but I don't feel like when I see Nia Jax, I'm like, oh, okay. But when I see Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, I'm like, yo, this could be a time we could be talking about this for years to come.
Most definitely. But yeah, I mean, like I think Nia
Hmm.
Jax to me is I'm not a fan. Just not she's not like somebody that I really bang with. But at the end of the day, I can admit the
He does her
elimination
job.
chamber match against Rhea Ripley. She That was probably my favorite Nia Jax match ever. She really did assert herself well in that match. But at the same time, I'm not a fan. I probably never will be a fan. Tudo, I'm gonna
Tudo,
say happy birthday to your son, man. Just
happy
blessings,
birthday.
man. Upon blessings,
Hello,
upon
Tino.
blessings, man. So wish your son happy birthday, brother. I
Two's a
really,
great age.
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, no, second son. Sorry, I didn't say two, but
No, his
happy
second
birthday
son.
to
He
him.
said his second son. He didn't say he was only two. But
Yeah.
but let's move on. Let's move on, fellas. Let's move on to the next match, man. Next match here we got six-pack ladder match for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship. The Judgment Day will be defending those unified tag team titles against the Awesome Truth, The Miz and R Truth, the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, A Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, New Catch Republic, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, and DIY Tommaso Champa and Johnny Gargano. Now let me explain a little something to y'all that might not realize what's going on in this ladder match. The WWE has been hitting around for quite some time that they were planning on splitting these titles up and ununifying these titles, these tag titles. This is
Mhm.
exactly what's going to go down tomorrow night at WrestleMania. You're going to see one team walk out there with the Raw tag team titles. You're going to see another team walk out there with the SmackDown tag team titles because these titles will all be suspended from the ring. I mean, from the ceiling. Excuse me. They'll be suspended from the ceiling, and the match is not over until both sets of titles are retrieved. Which means technically the same team could go up there and grab both sets of titles and still keep them unified. But we know what's going to end up happening. One team's going to go up there and get the Raw titles. Another team's going to go up there and get the SmackDown titles, and we're going to finally split those titles up and have a tag team champion on each brand. I start with Raphael
That
this time. Raphael, let me know how you feeling about this six-pack ladder match, man, for the tag team
I mean,
titles.
for the six pack, I mean, this had a lot of potential on it because I wonder why it was gonna play it out because there was like a two teams would have been split and it was gonna be like a very gold, but I think that the awesome truth has a very potential to win for the second time. I mean, that could have happened because there's like a great night to be absolutely everything. I mean, there's gonna be like a lot of tension for the Judgment Day, but I think that it's gonna happen like this one. But I think they may be like at a second winner, but they get at least one title to feel it's like big possibility. And the Judgment Day's winner is gonna be like a very too long, very like a very slappy and Priest they need just free it up for the cashing in. That would be like a good payoff. And don't be surprised that Priest is gonna happen to the free it up for the cashing in at the bank. Because remember when Sam Rollins came out for the cashing in at the bank WrestleMania 2015. Now this is gonna be like the scene like the deja vu, but it could be like a good payoff to the truth and stuff early that year. But it maybe had a good powerful, but I think that it's gonna be like surprisingly because all this is full card for the both nights. I mean, it's gonna be like a really stack. The fact that Pretty Deadly isn't that match is very a crime, but I would say that if the Awesome Truth wins one set of titles and A-Town Down Unders winning the other set, I mean, it could have happened because if they're gonna split it up with those titles for the Raw and SmackDown, it could be like a possibility to get in it.
Absolutely.
Well,
Adam, thoughts?
Mac, you brought something up that was good. I didn't think about the unification of Split like that. I didn't think of that. So this leads me to believe that when I look at the match again, who do I like right now? Right, we love the Awesome Truth. Right, that has a ring to it. I do think they held the tag titles back in the day. When they were there, I think they had a small run. So it would be fun for them to hold the titles. Then you look at Kofi Kingston and them and those guys, you're like, wow. You know, and it's funny that they have a ladder match because I always think of Edge, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudley Boys, where it was a 3-man, tag teams. This is a 6-man tag team. So, this is going to be – I'm hoping to see some great spots. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. I think they might take the titles – only because, and the only reason I say this is because WWE likes to, when they like to do something like a split, they want to put marquee names on there, right? They want to give one team who's like the newcomers, like a DIY, the Raw titles, right? And then they'll give a team like the New Day a titles so they can carry it and then carry that tag team division wherever they decide to go, right? So I could easily see them winning the titles, but for me, I'm going to go with the underdog. I'm going to go with the Awesome Truth. I think they're going to pull some rabbit out of their hat and come down with one of those titles. And I'm going to say that this is Judgment Day come down with the other titles. And the reason I say that is because I think these two are very hot, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. And I think they still will hold something because you can still keep that angle going. But I do think, there is a chance a sleeper could be DIY. I'm not a fan of them yet, but you got to think. But I'll stick with the Judgment Day winning one of the pairs and Awesome Truth winning another pair.
Well, all right. Look,
I think we'll get some great spots in the end match, though.
I do not think Judgment Day is coming out of here with these titles. I think they are dropping these tag team titles completely. I think they're walking out with nothing as far as tag team titles are concerned. I think what's going to happen here, I think we're going to get on with the Raw tag team. I think we're going to DIY climbing those ladders and coming down with the Raw tag team titles on tomorrow night. I think DIY absolutely is a team that deserves to come down with those Raw tag team titles. As far as the SmackDown tag, that I don't know. That can go a lot of different ways, man. I know a team I would like to see get those titles. I would like to see the New Catch Republic be the ones come down with the SmackDown titles. Personally, I think those guys are just two really underappreciated talents that are just way significantly better than people maybe even realize. I think the main roster, I guess, up here on SmackDown crowd or whatever. I mean, I think they're like the people that know. You know what I mean? And Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne are absolute killers, man, in the ring. And I think they are definitely champions, and they are worthy of a great tag team title run. And I would love to. That's how I would love to see this match play out.
Well,
At the end of the day, this could be an absolute show stealer. This could be something that just completely steals the show. And
imagine that.
Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, it's a ladder match with 6 damn teams involved. I mean, all kinds of madness.
Not to mention the LWO is probably going to come out and shit.
I mean, all kinds of craziness is going to take place in this match. I mean, I was upset the Street Profits weren't in this match because I would love to see Montez bouncing around on ladders and doing the crazy shit that he's capable of doing. But at the end of the day,
oh my God, why couldn't we make an executive decision right now? Pull one of these teams.
I'm still I'm still pretty satisfied with I think we're going to get. I think it's going to be an exciting match. I think it's going to be a fun match because ladder matches usually are fun, exciting,
We'd
crazy
like to
shit
see
always
someone go
happens.
through a table off a ladder. Something crazy needs to happen because you are bringing. Sorry, I'm just excited because this feels like the Attitude Era type of wrestling right here. We start off with a slobber knocker. If JR were here, a slobber knocker of a women's match to start the show. Then right after that is a six-man tag team ladder match. Are we kidding me, Mac? I don't. You've already set me up for great news. What is the next match? What is the next match? If you're not fired up for this, you need to go home.
All right, well, following this, looks like we should be getting Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio.
The
I
intermission
know
match.
at the top of the show, you said don't spoil nothing on SmackDown, so I guess I can't go into great detail, but it looks like there's going to be some changes to this match. But right now, not to spoil nothing for my partner Adam, I don't want to drop a spoiler or something that took place on SmackDown tonight. But there's going to be some changes to this match. It's not going to be what we just exactly what we just how we just read. It's not going to play out that way. I know exactly how it's going to play out, but let my guy see SmackDown and he'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But as of right now, we'll just go with it. Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Adam, let me see what you got, bro.
I like Santos Escobar. I think he's an interesting cat. I think this one. Well, obviously, we're talking about something that's not going to happen, but we'll pretend that it is for this show, folks. I do apologize for. I do like to watch my shows. I don't want to be spoiled, and it is what it is. But you know what? I don't really care about this match that much. So if you want to spoil it, fine, you could do that. But if we're going with this one, Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar, I like Escobar. I thought he should have got a push. I'm hoping that him being paired with Dominic Mysterio doesn't hurt him. I would love to see I would love to see Escobar with Andrade. I think that would be a cool tag team. I think those two guys could be the face of the company at some point. Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee is kind of like, I would guess, his apprentice, protege, whatever you want to understudy, kind of similar styles. Luchador wrestling is a legend in his own right. I think it's a good one. It's going to be a good high-flying match. A lot of spinners, as I call them. Those guys who do all those flips and whirling dervishes in the air. So it should be a fun match. But I know that those aren't probably what's going down. But unfortunately, that is what it is for this show. I do apologize.
Rafael, El Capitan.
I mean, between for the storyline, it took like very quite a turn, but it seems like leading up for Rey Mysterio challenging Santos Escobar, who turns out for the months ago with the Latino World Order, instead to do it in a single match, we're suddenly like an interference set about for Dominic Mysterio. I mean, that could be like a new duo to forming out to take a lot from the enemy. And when Rey listened for the service of Dragon Lee, which is a fair share of history with Escobar, again, given like Rey beating Dominic and then one-on-one matchup of last year, it makes like very sense for the younger Mysterio to pick up over at least farther. But I think that Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar could win this because it sounds like very like resentful, because after Rey Mysterio just won against Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles, I think that Dominic Mysterio, he wants to be like revenge, just like a father and son battle. But don't be surprised if Dominic Mysterio could have such when it turns out, because I'm not gonna be spoiled around, but I think that after the match, it could be like a surprises, including for Dominic Mysterio. But I think that after they just saw for everything, I mean, every time with the Twin Brothers, they see just as a set that they compete right now. But I think they have the one reason that why Rey Mysterio is be like one of the greatest of all time. But I think that the time is gonna be like the passing on for like a passing the torch right now. But I think that Dominic Mysterio we have like all the records to get like an interference match against for Santos Escobar, and also all those were things right now. But I think that Dominic Mysterio could win out this because that's part of the revenge it's got about for the plan.
Well, all right. This match here, I mean, it could really go either way. I mean, multiple guys in this match could definitely use a big WrestleMania moment. Obviously, like you said, Dominic Santos could definitely use those big WrestleMania moments. Rey Mysterio's had he's had WrestleMania moments. You know, obviously he's a Hall of Famer for a reason. But I still feel like just based off of the build and the way things have gone down, the way this thing everything's been built up for this match, I just see Rey Mysterio having yet another moment here, man, at the expense of his son, at the expense of Santos Escobar. I believe that Rey Mysterio walks out of here a winner at Philadelphia on Saturday. So and I'm just my gut is telling me that. I don't know exactly. I just the way things played out on SmackDown tonight. I think that's a lot to go through for him to go in there tomorrow night and lose. So I just feel like that Rey Mysterio is going to be on the winning team tomorrow on tomorrow night at WrestleMania. So that's all I really got for this match. This match, I don't know. It's good talent, strong talent. It could surprise us, but most likely it could be the least least exciting match on the card for tomorrow night. But then again, you never know. Like I said, we could all be surprised, man. Like I said, definitely no. It's not a lack of talent in this match. It's just I just don't know. You don't really know what to expect. But at the end of the day, I do know what you can expect. What you can expect are some shenanigans. As a matter of fact, no. I take everything I said back. It's tough because it's hard to talk about it without like completely just
Just
dropping the
spoil it.
ball.
Just
Okay.
spoil it.
Yes. Dragon Lee. Thank you. It's hard to talk about this without any making
No,
any
no, go
sense.
ahead.
I do agree. Rey Mysterio. I do agree with you now, Raphael. I think Dominic and Santos will win this match because I don't know why I wasn't thinking straight. Because Carlito is going to absolutely cost them the match. He is going to come down, and that's going to be the next shocker. That's going to be the next bomb that's dropped. Is the Carlito is the one who attacked Dragon Lee on SmackDown tonight and injured Dragon Lee and putting him out of the match. Now Andrade also turned on Dominic Mysterio and them tonight, beat them the hell down, and he will be partnering with Rey Mysterio tomorrow at WrestleMania. It'll be Rey and Andrade taking on Santos and Dominic tomorrow at WrestleMania. And I think Carlito is ultimately going to be the guy that comes out and ruins that, and ruins that match for Rey and Andrade, and ultimately costing them and Santos Escobar and Dominic going and get the victory. Thank you. I'm sorry. It was just hard to contain because it was like, I just know this match is not going down like this. Dragon Lee I think they've already ruled him out of the match already. So yeah.
I didn't pay attention,
Sorry.
so it's all good. I blocked that out so I didn't hear what happened. So it didn't spoil it for me. But yes, anyways, that's what should happen, right? They need to dead this storyline. It's kind of
And
not
now
building up.
yes. And now we can move on. We'll move on to the next match. I don't know. This might not be the right order for the matches because I wouldn't put this match next. But next match, according to this page I'm looking at, Jay Uso versus Jimmy Uso, brother versus brother, in an absolute supreme grudge match. This could go either way. Once again, these two, man, we knew this was building up. We knew this was what we were leading up to this happening, going down. Every time Jey Uso comes close to sniffing his first singles title of his career, his brother seems to come down and screw it up for him. He was right on the verge of knocking off his big cousin Roman Reigns for the Universal title. He was also right on the verge of beating Gunther for that Intercontinental title. Jimmy Uso came down and took that opportunity away from him both times. And here we are now, finally, the grudge match between the brothers, Jay and Jimmy Uso, man. El Capitan. Where you going in this match, man?
Oh man, I would say because they're setting a one-on-one match. I mean, the Bloodline story has very twists and turns. I mean, puzzling around for Jim Uso, turning out for Jey Uso to rejoin the Bloodline after being like the first to leave the stable. After he wasn't the same for the Raw, and he was interference to Wrestling Weeks because or not. But Jay is one of the most popular superstars in that company. And it makes like evidence for the crowd reactions during like the entrance. It only makes sense whether the kids win over Jimmy. I mean, it could happen like this one because we just see like what are the first times that we see like a both wrestlers, both brothers came in between them. And I think this is gonna be like a really issue right now, but it doesn't seem like they have it like so potential on this ring right now. But it seems that it could be like the end of the situation right now, but I don't think it's gonna be like the really the end. But when it comes to everything could happen because Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso, I mean, it's not gonna be like an easy call. Give it like one hand, give it like Jay the Mania moment that feels more logical. The other is gonna be like a still probably making Jimmy win to avoid like many face wins to give Krauser against for the feud. And it could be like it's something really important, but it could be like very emotional. But it seems that Jay Jay Uso it became like so much popular that no one see that at the moment it could happen of those last times. But against like there's like the maximum shenanigans. But I will take it like this one for like Jay Uso take it like win over against for this brother.
Adam?
Well, yeet, 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 yeet. I think main event Jey Uso is going to win. He needs this win. Um, I think I want to see him do this to break away from the bloodline entirely, to be like, I am his man. Because I do believe he's in line for a title shot at some point. I do believe so. Whether that be Seth Rollins, whether that be Cody Rhodes, whether that be McIntyre. Um, I think he deserves it. And Jimmy, you know, I don't know where Jimmy is. I don't know what to think of him because he he's not like Jey Uso can go on and have a good solo career. I don't know if Jimmy can have that same solo career. I don't know what it is about Jimmy. I don't know. Is it the way they booked him? Is it how he is? But there's a killer instinct that I see with Jey Uso, and when he doesn't get main event Jay for no reason, the crowd is backing him. I mean, look what happens when he goes. This reminds me of the Yes Movement with Daniel Bryan. If you guys don't know what that is, where a guy comes out of not nowhere, a guy who deserves to be at the top is finally getting a shot at the top, and the crowd is so over on the guy that no matter what he does and no matter what you put him through. I mean, could you imagine seeing him do a gauntlet match like Daniel Bryan and winning the title from somebody? I can. Like I can just see that. He's the type of guy that has to. I feel like he has to get a title. He deserves it. He's come a long way, and I just believe this will be his WrestleMania moment. And I really hope that the WrestleMania moment also brings his brother back to him as well. I think he still should be solo. Give that guy a title. Let him win a couple titles. Become a Hall of Fame solo or act right now because he's going to the Hall of Fame right now. I mean, their patriarch, Rock's grandma, is going in this tonight. Is going in tonight. So their family is going to. There's going to be a lot of them going in, and Jamie and Jay are going in as a tag team. But I would like to see him, get a solo career, and kind of be like Jeff Hardy, to his Matt Hardy. I think Jeff Hardy's a better wrestler. Some people like what Matt Hardy did in AEW with that gimmick that he had. But I think Jeff Hardy overall has had a better career in terms of winning championships. So I think that's what Jay and Jimmy should do. And I think Jay is on his way, and Jimmy will find his way. But I think I want to see Jay. I think I want to see more of Jey Uso. Jey Uso going forward.
Good stuff.
You
Well, look,
geek?
Mhm.
here's the thing with these two, man. Like I mean, you kind of hit on some points that I was going to talk about, Adam, and okay, these Jimmy Uso a few years back or whatever, had some kind of had an injury that kept him out for quite some time. Jey Uso had no choice but to become a solo act for some time, and he really developed as a solo star throughout that time period. And then when Jimmy came back, they still were doing the tag team thing and the blood within mixed within bloodline storyline, and all this whatever. But I think Jay had got that taste of that solo action, man. He's been a tag team star his whole entire career. He never really knew what it was like to be a singles competitor,
Right.
a true singles competitor. So he got that taste and he soared with it, man. And I think Jimmy just hasn't really been able to kind of
Get that
maybe
back.
get that momentum the way his brother was able to, So Jay is a legit single star,
Which
whereas
is
Jimmy
funny
is still
because
kind of
Jimmy was going to take that spotlight until he got injured. Like Jimmy was on that trajectory where they were trying to push him to
I
be kind
think
of a singles guy, and they got injured.
I think most people did see Jimmy Uso probably as maybe the better Uso earlier on, and
Right.
when they were just strictly a tag team. But like Jay got the opportunity and he saw with it. He got the nickname, the
But
moniker,
well,
main event Jay Uso, the right hand man. All the good stuff that comes. I mean, and it's just he's just able to. He has the crowd embraces him in a way that they just don't with his brother
he's
Jimmy, who
over.
I mean obviously is playing that heel role right now and still very much entrenched with the bloodline. But it's just I think right now that Jey Uso has way too much heat, and I just can't see a scenario in which he doesn't come out of here with a W. I mean, Jimmy Uso has cost Jay titles at this point now. He's cost his brother titles. So I just don't envision a scenario in which he comes out of here not a winner tonight, tomorrow night in Philly. So I got Jey Uso for sure. Yeet!
Yeah.
Next up, man, here we go. Got Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi taking on Asuka, Dakota Kai, and Kairi Sane of Damage Control in a six-woman tag team
I knew
match.
that was happening.
Jade Cargill, Jade Cargill debuting, making her WrestleMania debut, teaming up with two very strong women in Bianca Belair and Naomi. Man, this match has potential to be another sneaky surprise, a really sneaky surprise, great match. I think another potential showstopper. Man, this match is gonna, I think, could bring the house down. Jade Cargill looks like she has refined her skills big time from when she was in AEW. They kind of moved her along slowly and didn't just come out and rush her into the ring right away over here in WWE. And looks like she's really been putting that work in. Jade Cargill is an absolute specimen, and she really wants to be great. I think this is a great opportunity for her right now on this stage is to share the ring with Bianca Belair, Naomi, and the Ladies of Damage Control is a
The
great
storm is
opportunity
coming.
for her.
Mm-hmm.
So Adam, man, you give me your thoughts on this one, brother.
Oh my God, Jade Cargill, man! When I saw her in AEW, I was like, "Oh my God, the WWE is never going to get her." And now she's walking through the gates and taking the mantle where she rightfully belongs on the marquee of WrestleMania. And she's kind of pushed aside Naomi, pushed aside Bianca, and now is the head of the table, as we like to say. And I think this is a good kind of squash match to get her kind of in ring shape, so to speak, on the main event because she is a main event box office star. I wouldn't be surprised at some point we see her in the title picture fairly quickly as she rises up the ranks. But this is one of those matches where you can really build her mystique. And it's really one of those matches where they're going to feature Cargill. She came out with gangbusters at Royal Rumble, where she threw Nia Jax over the top rope, basically over her shoulder. Which, if you didn't find that impressive, you should just go home right now because that was one of the most craziest things I've ever seen somebody do, especially a female do in the ring. And I was like, this girl is great. She's box office. So, but I'm interested. I like Asuka and Kairi Sane and what they do. I think they're decent. They would be a good tag team if they featured them more. The problem is they don't have much mic skills, and they are very niche in what they do. And that is they're very high flying. They do a lot of they whip around the ring. So they're legendary people in Asuka a very good technical wrestler. I think she needs to be back in the title picture as well, Asuka herself. Dakota Sky, I think, has fallen off. She was injured most of her time in Damage Control, so this will be a shot at her to try to show her skills. That she does have a little bit of skills. She was in NXT for a reason. Obviously, she was with the Damage Control for a reason. But like I said before, she was injured, so she couldn't really do much. So I'm thinking I know Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair and Naomi are walking away with a win. I think Naomi and Bianca Belair are going to team up to be a tag team at some point, and I think Jade Cargill is going to just start to be many people may not like this girl, but she goes by the CEO in AEW. Jade Cargill is going to be like the boss, except better version. She's going to have that presence about her where she's going to be the star, head turner, and this is kind of giving her early WrestleMania moment to win over the crowd. Jade Cargill and Naomi and Bianca Belair will beat those three.
Raphael, you have any thoughts on this one? All right, Raphael must have stepped away
All right, so
from
I
the
just came
show.
back. So I just wanted to realize that Naomi and of course the Deceiver, the more that happened because those talents they just need to stand up for themselves. And they just wanted to stop letting writers sort of buffer by race and intensity of weekend. This is like in the 80s because all those tag teams feel like they just feel like the World Cup of wrestling. But I think that it's be like overpowered and just be like a nature and evolution. But I think that Jay Carter Hill he makes like a great point out of the WrestleMania because he better show up as the leader because Jay hasn't been very nearly at that level. But we'll be there with the same team because they're like a very overpowered. Because if they need to something about for the talent, I mean, it all needs to be the suits of the character and the whole when they cover the STD because it's been doing well at the early NST teams. But I love how prominent Superstar on the main roster is one of the two factions in that moment. But I only think that it's very fair about it. But this is like the team that nobody expected this, but they be like the greatest thing that could have happened. I mean, they couldn't have happened because that against for the damage control. But I think that it's gonna be like the survey like the center because I should be like at the help at the final piece before turning off for Bailey. But I think that we should like at the final because before they should gonna play like at the star, and I don't want it to like at the promos to beat out for the Bailey for the belt after she can continue and have the promos with Naomi, Mitchell, and Selena at last. But instead of being like at the faces, she could have it the role that Bianca had to feel with damage control, who's very like experienced workers go back and forth to Bailey for a few months. But she doesn't have a like, very wins right now. But I think it's a very like after Mania to take a like full schedule. But I think that between Jay Cargill, Naomi, and of course Bianca Belair will take the storm by the war right now. And Jay Cargill, he made like a great surprise right here from being part of the ANEW to take it up for the next level at the WWE. So this is going to be like a big splash for her this career.
Great stuff, Raphael. Yeah, I just think right now this moment, man, and this moment, Jay Cargill is getting ready to get shot straight to the moon. But now that she is has arrived, SmackDown, she has now arrived. EO Sky, you're now put on notice. I think WWE has plans to shoot Jay Cargill straight to the moon, and that starts with this match tomorrow evening on and WrestleMania one in Philly. I think her, Naomi, and Bianca Belair absolutely come out on top in this match. Absolutely no slight against Damage Control. Asuka is one of the most respected women in this industry, and she's a definitely a formidable opponent for anyone. And Kyrie Sane as well. I mean, Kyrie Sane is also known all over the world, one of the top women performers in the world. And Dakota Kai has been injured a lot lately. Unfortunately for her, it really slowed down the momentum that she had built up for herself. But she's definitely a formidable opponent, and this will be a way to really showcase Jade Cargill. And yes, I get it. Bianca Belair, Naomi, they're all part of this match, but this match is truly about showcasing Jade Cargill, and I think they're going to do that, and I think that they come away with the W. So let's move it on to the ultimate underdog, Sami Zayn, taking on Gunther for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. This run by Gunther has been nothing short of historic, surpassing the Honky Tonk Man's record for and it's I mean look, he's knocked down everybody that they put in front of him, everybody, literally everybody, and it's not he hasn't like not taken on top dog. I mean it's been anybody, Sheamus, I mean Drew McIntyre, I mean he's knocked off anybody that's been they put in front of him. He's found a way to walk away with his title still secure. I mean, that triple threat match at WrestleMania 39, I'm still getting chills from that match right there because that's how phenomenal that match was. And Gunther still found a way to come out of that match, the Intercontinental title, in a triple threat match against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. So at the end of the day, I don't know how you guys feel. I'm listening to let you guys tell me how you feel, man. Look, Raphael, man, set it off, man. Let me know. How do you feel, El Capitan, about Enter Sami Zayn and Gunther? I guess Raphael stepped away. Adam, how do you feel about Sami Zayn and Gunther?
I'm intrigued because I don't know if Sami Zayn has done enough to. I mean, yes, he can be an Intercontinental title holder, all that. But to me, I'm like, I don't. Is Sami Zayn the guy I want him to drop the title to? Like Gunther right now has put the Intercontinental title back on the map, and his next step after this, whenever that title is dropped, is a championship match between whatever top champion he wants. He deserves that. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see him lose the title and not be relevant for a few months and him win the Royal Rumble next year as the number one guy. I'm going out on a limb right now and saying that's my number one Royal Rumble winner in 2025, Gunther. But I don't know if Sami Zayn is the guy to take him down right now. I don't know if it's going to be Chad Gable either. Maybe Gable helps Sami Zayn so then he can take the title from Sami Zayn. I have no idea. But like I said before, Gunther is box office. And again, I think this, maybe they want to do a streak with him in terms of winning at WrestleMania. 2-0, 2-0. The guy needs to be a champion. And the longer you hold the current champions, the heavyweights, at their positions, the longer he has to hold the Intercontinental title. Because I feel like once you change course there, you can bring guys up to have better storylines like a Gunther. Because Gunther could be the face of this company. And as he should be. He really should. He deserves it. He's going to the Hall of Fame on his Intercontinental Championship run alone. That alone is putting that guy in the Hall of Fame. I mean, you could look at Scott Hall. Scott Hall he didn't win many heavyweight titles in the WWE. He's going to the Hall of Fame because he's on the NWO and he was a great Intercontinental title holder, right? So Gunther, who's already surpassed. What?
Gunther's resume, just to add to his resume, that should let you know, I mean, you might not realize that he was once also the NXT UK champion for nearly 3 years. Had that title for nearly 3 years.
So that's what you're proving my point in terms of having a Hall of Fame career already stacked, right? NXT UK, that shouldn't go down as any slouch, right? That's a brand that they're doing. NXT is a brand that they promote here, right? And if people can win the title that are currently on the roster right now. You've had Charlotte Flair hold that title and a few others hold the NXT title every once in a while. So it is a title that kind of gets kicked around and kicked up and has some prestige to it. So they hold it for 3 years, and now you have the Intercontinental title, which is usually, like I said back in the 80s, a title you give to the heavyweight contender or the guy that you hope that is waiting in the wings. But like I said, if the guys currently in the heavyweight spots keep winning, there's no other spot for him to be than the Intercontinental title because there's no one that can hold the belt like that. Now, I do believe he should lose to a guy like LA Knight or an AJ Styles. Those type of guys I think could be a nice, if you're gonna let him lose to somebody, those two guys have it. Sami Zayn's heat is not as strong as it was last year, where he was with the bloodline and he had all that backing. He's still the same guy, but not. I don't think he has the fire, but LA Knight does. LA Knight needs a title. Otherwise, you're going to really ruin that guy and all the buildup that you built. So to me, that's a guy who would give it. Or an AJ Styles who deserves a title, but may not want to be in the heavyweight title picture, but again, could hold the Intercontinental title. So that's to me, if you're not going to give it to Sami Zayn, wait for one of those two guys. Because I would love to see him, give it to somebody who deserves it, like an LA Knight.
All right,
Mm.
Capitan, your thoughts on this match here, the Intercontinental title match?
I mean, this could be like a hell of a match. But what does make Gunther very special? I mean, his popularity comes like very similar what made Brock Lesnar's popular. I mean, it's very big, intimidated, really, but it really cheats, but it has simply like a defending moves, and despite being like a heel, he seems like to be like a respectful heel. Because he respect like the worthy opponent if he could prove it. Unlike Reigns is gonna treat the legs of the person that they're not proving themselves against him. But plus he's like a leader for the heel stable, a very effective leader in that because he proves our respect and discipline with Logan and Giovanni disappointment. He gives like the chance to redeem himself, and whether they're pushing him, he simply gets with a chop. But I think that the battle between Gunther versus Sami Zayn, I mean, they could be like a hell of a match, but I think Sami Zayn is gonna be like a really careful about it. But if they're gonna have to have a discussion, but I think it got nothing to do for the WrestleMania, it's gonna face it each other. But it's gonna be like a really chance, but it's gonna offer the main event level at the Intercontinental Champion. But he's very important to say for the brother has to go for the something down for the Lions Fin one. I mean, it's really likely had to go for Gunther versus Sami Zayn, but I hope it was kind of like the one win that about that year. But it makes like the very same. But I'm very confident that Gunter and Reign is gonna continue past Mania because they're gonna put it like the gable of the last part because ultimately still plans and now they're being like it eventually destroy him, but they don't want to see like Gunter and Roman losing at the same time. But it makes any sense where the gable looks us. But I think they're just like we have like two record-setting Monster Heel title runs on the go. It would be like a shame for our be showered if the other both at the end at the same time. And if they're gonna have to go for the loser early summer before they can move on without Sami winning to win, I mean, that will make any sense at all. But I think the Sami Zayn could be like a really careful and it got to the ability now for anything because I mean it's not gonna be like a very awful for the decision, but you have to be careful of Gunter because I know he's very intimidated. He has a long reign as an intercontinental championship. Who could have been like the Gunter? He's unbeatable. But if Sami Zayn could have been like the Gunter, it's nearly impossible.
See, I don't know. I think that Sami Zayn, I mean, the way that they built this up, the Sami Zayn as just the ultimate underdog. I mean, they have been really pushing the envelope, man. Like giving him absolutely no chance to go
Wouldn't
up and
Chad
to
Gable be
get this
even more
ring
of an underdog?
and beat who? Chad Gable?
Yeah.
Oh, Chad Gable and Gunther had one hell of an Intercontinental title match a few months back, man.
But
And
that's what I'm
people was
saying.
really
Wouldn't he
banging on the
be?
table for that to happen.
So I'm like I see. I don't mean to cut you off, but like I don't see Sami Zayn as an underdog because he's been to the title shop. Him losing, like them building it up for Gunther and Sami Zayn being like, "Dude, I'm going to take your place because you can't handle it," or something like that. And then like you could have done so much more with that little storyline and had them fight for the title than that. Because I think Chad Gable deserves with the match he put on, he deserves to be get another shot. So if you were going to give me an underdog story, give it to me with the actual underdog. Sami Zayn's been in main events. He's a title holder. People know him. They chanted his name. He won the tag team titles. He's not to me an underdog. I think he can easily beat Gunther and be the Intercontinental title holder, and we wouldn't bat an eye. But Chad Gable winning, that would be, more of an underdog story. Go on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
Well, no, I think what happens here is Sami Zayn does ultimately come out of here tomorrow night winning this title, and I think for a couple of different reasons though. I think because they're going to move, they are going to push forward, and I think potentially we see a Sami Zayn Chad Gable uh,
Intercontinental win.
storyline build. And I think Gunther's going to get some probably much deserved time off, a little bit more time. Well, I mean, you got to realize, I'm taking to real life reality now, folks. Gunther is a new father. I think he may want to have a little time off, spend some time with his newborn child. The time that he hasn't really had to spend too much of. He did have to take some time off when the baby was born. Of course, for obvious reasons, he'll take a little time off when the baby's born. But he kind of got right back to it. And I think now he's going to maybe take this opportunity, drop this title, and take some opportunity for some to get the reality a little bit and get some daddy time in for a little bit, and then before he gets back to the full grind of the WWE. I think this is a perfect opportunity to do that. I think this is a perfect opportunity for him to drop that title. I think Sami Zayn is the right guy because Sami Zayn is a guy that had a big WrestleMania moment a year ago in a tag team situation, and now he gets an opportunity to have a big WrestleMania moment in a solo as a single competitor. And I think this is the time. I think it's the right time. Gunther's Intercontinental title reign has been, like I said, nothing short of spectacular. But it's nothing more he can really do for this title, or really truly with this title at this point. He's literally knocked down everyone else that you put up in his way. It's time to kind of move on from that and get him prepared to get into the mix for like the world title runs that he should absolutely be on. So I'm looking to see something like that where I wouldn't be surprised if Gunther drops that title tomorrow and then we kind of don't see him too much for a little while because I think he wants to probably get a little daddy time in with the newborn baby. I mean, definitely you know how those things go. A new baby, you want to spend a little more time than I'm sure he's getting to spend. I mean, WWE travel schedule is we all know what that we know it's a hectic and crazy thing, man. So I think we look to see something like in that range where we'll see Gunther drop this title and kind of go off and be kind of off TV for a little bit, taking care of some handling his personal business, But we will see. And that brings us to the main event of night one. Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins taking on Roman Reigns and The Rock in a tag team title, in a tag team match that has implications on the title match tomorrow night between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. If Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, if Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns and The Rock win. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Roman Reigns and The Rock win this match tomorrow night. The title match on Sunday between Cody and Roman will be bloodline rules, which means anything goes. However, if Cody and Seth win, then that means the bloodline is completely banned from the ring during the Cody and Roman match. El Capitan, get your thoughts on the night one main event.
Oh man, for the night one event between Seth Rollins versus, well, Roman Reigns, The Rock, along with this one. I mean, that could be like, because remember the last year, it makes sense. Now Cody just came back. He won the Royal Rumble by eliminating number one with a low blow because he never a little bit knocked out of his feet and still with this one. But since then, Cody has had his arm broke by Brock, being insulted. He won the tag titles. He just attended a press conference. He lost the titles, but now he's like a complete superstar with a full story because he paid all his dues. I mean, he's fully integrated himself with the WWE war, and now he's ready to get in a win. But the only thing is gonna be like, if they're gonna lose it about this title, because if they wanted to see it like another year for Roman Reigns title matches, I don't think there's gonna be like a react for big events. But if I can be heavy, because to be fair, because right now they're willing to throw logic and contest completely out of the window with the chasing out for Roman Rocket again to flip flop for the best way. But I just really guess it because if it could be like a loss, would be like an all-time bad booking decision. It was just like last year. if we ever do like a huge enough for the WrestleMania, big enough for The Rock to do it, I mean, what is it gonna have to left to the storyline? Because there's no viable reason to keep that going. I know there are some parts that the bloodline stories was very good end. I mean, remember when Eric Bischoff thought the same way about for the New Orleans War. I mean, I've been saying that because they're more like very confident that Cody will find to stay over because on the other hand, Roman has the last worst years of the reign. The part of the idea there was no key to this matches because the results never in the contention anymore. I mean, the film was very dumb, but it started like at 2 months after Mania, which is like the last year. And being like at a month has been nothing interesting since because now they're gonna there's a Rock feud and waiting for another year to have in that back and won't like it a test from the beginning because it really like once in a lifetime. Because remember at the last year, because right now this seems like Cody Rhodes just lost the titles against Roman Reigns. It feels like a really deja vu when The Rock just won against John Cena, and then John Cena just went against The Rock. It makes like a very deja vu because if they wanted to pull the trigger of this time around with the title as a face, but having it work in the way, but it comes to Cole Lantern. I mean, it is like the perfect time for like the face turn. I mean, the only thing that The Rock couldn't do, like the basically, they're gonna face the Undertaker for the undisputed title. Every week it gets taken up managed about for the board position, but it's gonna be like if because if he's gonna break the record of Bruno's, if he's gonna win, he'll be like the Rick Rock of the future. I mean, that only lives there because there's like the more layers about the history because that's because right now the story is very emotional right now. They just feel like married since right now. But I think there's more like the arguments are about the scene for the fans about the titles and the reign because it's not the reason because it's very good to end. But the considerably the story peaked the last summer with the bloodline and Silver Wall, but it's already run out of gas because I would think it is skip story for another couple of years. But I think it is a storyline for the couple of years. It's very like a very likable, but I think that Cody Rhodes needs like a redemption match because I really thought that after all this scene for the WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes needs like a redemption match if he's gonna earn it.
Thank you, Raphael. Adam, thoughts on the night
Well,
one main
I,
event?
I thought that Rollins and Cody were going to win. I thought so. But then I thought to myself, that wouldn't be what WWE would want because that would be too easy. That would be too easy. Give him the title a clean. That's not what Roman Reigns' bag of tricks is. And The Rock came back and he's calling himself the final boss. And we were supposed to get Roman versus Rock. We haven't. That's still in the back of my mind. So while I do believe they win and it becomes bloodline rules, I will tell you my twist towards the title match for tomorrow's title. So I think bloodline rules will happen only because part of me believes if they do, I'll let you know. I'm just going to put it to you this way: bloodline rules, and then I'll explain to you my reasonings why I thought bloodline rules when we get into the main event on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah, I see it just like that, Adam. I don't really see a scenario in which Cody and Seth win this match because it wouldn't. It just would be more. It would be anticlimactic for the. And if you want to really tell this story, then Cody's got to overcome
Everything.
all the
Almost like Daniel
odds.
Bryan. Remember Daniel Bryan
So
when he won his title?
absolutely, absolutely.
Think about it
So
like that.
I just feel like that's automatically a slam dunk, letting you know that The Rock, Roman Reigns are going to win this match tomorrow night in the main event because you got to have the deck stacked as much as possible against Cody Rhodes because it just the story just wouldn't have that same, whatever, panache. So whatever the word could be for that. But so you just need this all to happen. You need every him to have to overcome
How are you going to
Solo
end?
Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, The Rock,
You right?
Roman
End
Reigns,
the
all of that.
WrestleMania 40? Come on.
So yeah, you're not going to
It's
just
not going to be a
have
standalone match.
some clean match between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. There's no way. This is not doing that.
Think
We're not
about
doing
that.
that. So yeah,
Think about that.
absolutely, man. So without even diving, I don't have to really dive any more deeper in there. You guys gave great analysis, but I do. Yeah, Cody, but The Rock and Roman Reigns comes out of here a winner, night one. we get the bloodline rules
Bastards.
for the main event in night two. But let's get to night two, guys. Let's go and move along to night two, man. And according to this, potentially starting off night two, man, an absolute another banger that could have all kinds of crazy things going on within it. For the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Drew McIntyre taking on Seth freaking Rollins.
They're
Trying to
booking.
have a true Drew McIntyre looking for that real WrestleMania moment because, as we all know, he had to accept winning that title in front of an empty arena. So Drew McIntyre is still searching for that real his real true WrestleMania moment, getting the opportunity against Seth freaking Rollins, trying to win that world heavyweight title, man. Adam, how you see it playing out, brother?
And your new WWE Heavyweight Champion of the World, Damian Priest, as he comes in and
Oh,
steals the show from Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, Claymores, is there. He's lying in the ring. The Money in the Bank winner, after losing the tag team titles, comes down there, knocks out Drew McIntyre, wins his title, does what Seth Rollins did to Roman Reigns, and ignites a new storyline because guess what? CM Punk is also going to be there. He's also going to help this out, and that's what's going to help slow this title reign down. Because McIntyre might actually win the title from Seth freaking Rollins, but by the time it's all said and done and the dust settles, Damian Priest is going to be your new heavyweight champion.
Oh man, super dope. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little distracted right now. The Hall of Fame is just on, and they're getting ready to induct the great Paul Heyman into the Hall of Fame, man. Showing
Oh
so
shit!
many of his amazing clips from over the years, man. It's super dope, man. I remember him all the way back to his Paul Lee Dangerously days, man. Looking like a character on Miami Vice, man, with the cell phone and everything. Oh man, I just
I
love
just
it, man.
man,
I love the Hall
Paul
of
Heyman.
Fame. I love the Hall of Fame every year, man. It just takes me down memory lane, man. But I'm sorry, El Capitan. What's your thoughts on Drew McIntyre, Seth freaking Rollins, man?
oh, Drew McIntyre deserved that. I mean, he's working his ass off for years, but I think it would be like great to WWE to have more non-American champions with the company expanded like the schedules overseas. But because I think that Drew McIntyre has very momentum on this one, but the other part Seth has very done to get this new belt that I think it's very dumb that it's like a decent job setting up for someone to take it at the WrestleMania. I mean, Drew is like the perfect place to be that guy. And I think it's gonna be like a very momentum because a few wrestlers are able to title run too. But I think the Triple H is very hesitant for the titles chance. I will be surprised if would have it without the bells. But I think it's Edge ever had at this moment because he really deserves this. I mean, how ironic how the Drew McIntyre character has been waiting for that moment all along when he finally is getting. He'd be like Richard for the audience, being like the heel that it is, to booze and all with defeating at the face of like the pandemic. That's what you can write honestly. But I think that it has ever been like the British WWE Championship before he has a two private championship. I mean, never. And it can make like very history. I mean, it's gonna be like the first in line to take the belt, but I can see them defending it like it itself. But I mean, there's gonna be like a great like surprises right now. But if I can tell about this one, but don't be surprised if Damian Priest could have it like this momentum because, like I told you guys before, whenever with Seth Rollins cashing in against for that title along with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, I think it's kind of like a very deja vu. But it seems like it comes like a really surprise. But I think it immediately after because they're setting up like a triple threat match with enough of the back to give it like this first two-time champion. But maybe interferes to Drew like it deserves like a shot 1-1. And they're gonna be starting to crumble, but it feels like because it's gonna be like a very interference. But I believe that Drew McIntyre has very potential to win that title and make it like very bigger at WrestleMania. But I think it's got a very moment in front of the live crowd.
Listen, there's two letters that you're forgetting. CM Punk. Okay, he has a
Mhm.
storyline. He is starting to rear his head. You think CM Punk said he's going to be at WrestleMania? Well, this is what I mean. Drew McIntyre gets his WrestleMania moment only to hear and CM Punk walking out. His music comes out, and oh my God, Drew McIntyre's in the ring, standing there, seething at the mouth. And who comes up from behind with the briefcase? But Damian Priest in the back of the head knocks out CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. He gets, whatever Falcon Arrow, the Razor's Edge, essentially from Damian Priest. 1, 2, 3. Priest steals the title. CM Punk is now cost because CM Punk got cost his WrestleMania moment by Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre got the title cost to him from CM Punk. And now you have a storyline built in for SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and away we go.
Well, look, here's what's going to happen. I'm gonna tell you exactly how it's going to go down on Sunday. This match here, you said something way back earlier in the show. We were speaking about the Judgment Day, Adam. I think people are in denial about this. That there are definitely legitimate chinks in the armor right now, cracks in the armor right now in Judgment Day. There absolutely are. You got Dominic Mysterio hanging out with the LWO. I mean, Rhea Ripley is kind of just she's kind of talking down on the rest of them because she's been a dominant champion and everybody. I mean, the guys have held down the tag team titles as well, but I've expressed my opinion on that they will not walk out of Philadelphia with either one of those tag team titles this weekend. And I believe that Damian Priest what's going to ultimately happen is Damian Priest his match is going to get to a point where Damian Priest pulls a Seth Rollins where he comes down and inserts himself and makes this a triple threat match somehow, and Drew will still then overcome those odds, rise to the occasion, and CM Punk is going to be in Philadelphia. But CM Punk is going to be in Philadelphia to watch Drew McIntyre win that title. And then ultimately, when CM Punk is able to come back, which is still several months down the line, which I'm not even sure if he will be ready for SummerSlam. If he'll be back for SummerSlam, I think it may even be out longer than that, honestly. But down the line, when CM Punk is able to come back, Drew McIntyre, he will then that's when we'll really get the setup for him and Drew McIntyre, whether it's at the Royal Rumble next year, wherever, whatever it's going to be. That's what's ultimately going to happen, I believe here. I think Damian Priest comes down and ends up failing in his attempt to cash in this Money in the
Oh,
Bank briefcase, and Drew McIntyre still walks out of Philadelphia as the new world heavyweight champion. I, I just I just think this Drew and CM Punk thing you can't continue to build that the way it is without it ultimately coming to a head in like a title match of
right.
some sort. It just doesn't make sense. It's
The
not
way
even
I set it
logical.
up, you could have it kick the can down the road as he rehabs because all he could be doing is crushing opponents, waiting to get to CM Punk, and then he could even win the title from Damian Priest saying, "This is what I'm going to do to you." And then when Punk comes back, how do you kickstart that? CM Punk costing him the title, he'll get his moment. He's up on stage, and boom, the music hits. I don't know, man. I don't know. CM Punk's that kind of guy where he's an eye for an eye kind of guy, and it would be CM Punk ish to cost him the title and somehow, some way. So you could be
Well,
right
we'll
though.
see, man.
I
I think Drew McIntyre is walking out of there Sunday night as the world heavyweight champion. He is owed a major receipt, and I think this is the time to get it because Seth Rollins clearly is invested in a lot of other things right now anyway. So there's still a lot more for Seth Rollins to do. It's not like he's just going to go and fall to the wayside.
well,
He
he
will
needs a
still
break
be
too.
very much well. He couldn't. That also is also a
He's injured.
possibility with
This is his
somebody like
back
him
hurt.
as well. He's been grinding. Now Seth has been grinding. That's a good point. He's been grinding, and you're right. He is due for maybe a little A little bit of TLC, a little time off, man. So we'll
It would,
see.
it would, it would, you need, I think some of these champions that have been champions for a long time need some time off of television to kind of let the new shine go and be that guy where like, we're in December, we're like, oh my God, there's Seth Rollins. He hasn't been on TV since WrestleMania, blah, 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 blah. It makes it more dramatic than, hey, there's Seth Rollins. We've seen you last week. Here we are. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, so let's get on with the next match. Next match, we got The Pride, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits taking on the Final Testament, the Authors of Pain and Karrion Cross in a Philadelphia street fight. And you know it goes down in them streets of Philly, baby. So,
I think it'll
Adam,
be good. I think it'll be a good match. I think it'll be fun. It's one of those matches where you get to see the chaos, where there's going to be like chairs, tables, bats, all types of good stuff. I like Karrion Cross's character. Again, this is what we call when we have roster saturation. When you have too many people on the roster, how do you fit guys on? Karrion Cross is one of those guys who probably should have been in the title mix a little bit more, but he's been off and on, been brought up to the main roster and up and down in his career. I think this is the start of something to have a little faction going and kind of be that darkness. Somebody needs to be it. I don't know if you guys watched that Bray Wyatt documentary, but it was fantastic on Peacock. I advise you to go watch it. But what I'm saying is they need kind of a darkish kind of figure, and that's what Karrion Cross is doing. And I think I like his character. I think the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley, this is what you call one of those matches where you have a decent title, you have decent guys, you're putting them on the roster. You don't really have much to do for them, so you put them in this kind of a melee match, and it doesn't really squash either team because you could have the Street Profits beating them and they look good, and you could have Karrion Cross and the Authors of Pain beating them and looking good. It really won't matter. It's just two good teams that have some up and coming talent that need to get exposure on a big screen. And WrestleMania is that time, and I always like these matches. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I do believe the Authors of the Pain and Karrion Cross are going to win because I think they're trying to build something with that. If the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley lose, nothing much. They can take that chink in the armor, regroup, and go on with what they're doing. So I don't know. It'll be fun to watch one of those street fights. Hope someone gets hit with a trash can.
El Capitan, thoughts on this Philadelphia street fight?
Oh, for that street fight. I mean, it could have happened like this one, but I think between like he was really like rehired from the main roster. I mean, they're gonna be happy because the pride between Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford versus the Final Testament, which is like the Autos of Pain. I mean, man, that could be like a great opportunity to take like how the idea became like so unnecessary. I had to go for it. I mean, there's longer to have the goal, the same thing like this one, but I think the between for that between for that match, I mean, you can have a very something. When Karrion Cross was like a born killer, he had all the countrymen's entrance, manager, powerhouse moves, and they had the top guys that are beating up. But it's just like the one problem to get a follow to destroy him because he will never be the same. So they just give him like a second chance, but I think it's gonna be like a long ambitions. But they can still like figure it out. It's gonna be like a showing up or this one, but it could be like probably good to save all this and paying for the wrestling gods. But the Final Testament, it's just like the Judgment Day, but that's very like very different right now, but he has nothing had to give. Like he's like the version of Chris Jericho, but it's very like the part of the reason of the work that right here. But many refer as the we cannot skip for the cross. I mean, the only habit is go for the rebound for the NXT, but I'm really sure that has a welcome for the fuel fine. But I think the pride to go for the destruction. So I will give it like the Final Testament. We're crushing it down for the Karrion Cross and Adam and Risa, which is like the Autos of Pain, because I will tell you for this one. Autos of Pain, they're very dangerous and very ruthless. I mean, they could take it off of the Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford at this time. But the only issue about you is going to be like the rating out for Bobby Lashley. I mean, they have it in the same amount of strong and fearless. I had to go for the at the ring right now. So who could imagine it between the Bobby Lashley versus Adam Ackerman race off for the Authors of Pain? That could be like the very play right now because it feel like they're thinking about for this one, but it's just showcasing a bit. Y'all gonna be like a really thought on the main roster to get having a lot of power over this right here. But I mean, they be dominant coming out right now, but it seems that the red hat coming out right now because there's not being like the very prominent right now. But I think it's very dominant well out of this season right now. But I think the Authors of Pain, along with Karrion Kross, will step out of the competition.
Good stuff, Raphael. And Adam, I would go back to you and I agree. I think well, right now this is what has to happen. I mean, I agree. Street Profits and Bobby Lashley, even though they've kind of been spinning their wheels a little bit as of late, they're still more kind of established on the main roster where they can still take this blow and take this L. If the final testament is truly going to be a faction to be taken seriously and is going to be able to be able to grow on the SmackDown brand, they absolutely need this W. I mean, they absolutely do. Karrion Cross is, or I'm a big fan of Karrion Cross. I really
Well,
don't
life
understand
support.
what people don't like about the guy, but what it is, what it is. I mean, he hasn't been able to really get any momentum on the main roster, and I think this is now like pretty much his last gasp. The Final Testament needs to win this match significantly more than Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. I think, so I just feel like that's the way I'm leaning with this one. I think we do want to try to continue to build this faction. It could be a truly dominant faction. And don't sleep on Lady Scarlet, man. She's another kind of wicked witch, man. She can mix it up a little bit too. I think people forget about that as well. So that faction can really has what it takes right now. They have the good pieces right now to build upon and become something become something pretty great. But it starts here at WrestleMania on Sunday night. They have to win this match. This match this they need to win so much more right now currently with the way things are with these guys right now on the roster. So I'm gonna just lean that way and get this one to the Final Testament, pulls this one out, and they can continue to grow as a faction. But next up, it's probably my two current favorite superstars in WWE right now, going head up. LA Knight, AJ Styles, man. This is a tough one for me because I absolutely love both of these guys. AJ Styles is my guy. He's my favorite wrestler right now, currently, period, in any no matter in any organization, not just WWE, period. I love everything about AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. LA Knight doing great work as well, and I'm a big, huge fan of his too, man. This is a tough one for me, man. But El Capitan, if you're still with us, man, your
Yeah,
thoughts on LA Knight and
I
AJ
mean,
Styles?
LA Knight. I just wanted to tell you about this. Let me talk to you. Yeah, because I just really thought because let's just embrace it about because picture both wrestlers with a great opportunity, not being frustrated, but he has the very potential. But I think that's gonna one of the biggest moments at that right now because his role for the story, look at the preference because if they had it as something, it's gonna be late, but it doesn't really matter. But I think that LA Knight, some people had the fortune to have it a single match at WrestleMania. That means like it's such a big deal because I cannot wait what the defense go crazy about it because I'm very confident that Knight and Styles can surprise a lot of the expectations. But it's kind of like his promos are very, very good because he doesn't really like the beat around for the bush out of the mic and it just like the points quickly. But I think that one of the reasons that I just started because I just wanted to take like the long way around because it's not very easy to tell on others what the key they are struggling. I mean, I hope him and AJ will have it like a banger in a match. A street fight will be like a really for a Philly audience right now, but I think it's sometimes it feels like those are the matches to feel left of the card. But I think that the reaction what goes for the LA Knight has been constantly for the crowd and how much equally AJ was building up for the few years. There's always no way that the match could be like at a hot crowd regardless of match quality. I mean, nothing was very fumbled. I mean, it was constantly headed after that match because even though that it's failed the match very quickly. I mean, if they're gonna miss a level because there's so much star power at the top, it is very hard to know if they'll be like another one. But I think there's gonna be like that they're younger, but I think it's gonna be like really interesting because it's gonna be like a great moment. I mean, it's gonna be like a great match to see how this is gonna be issued. Now, it really like the better created at the most part, but I think it's giving like the ones to strengthen all the things with everything could have like the long term story about for the LA Knight versus AJ Styles because I know the AJ Styles making another big against for Chris Jericho, and I know a fact because he just went along with Q. But right now, it seems like 8 years later, right now, LA Knight versus AJ Styles. And I mean, that could be like a great prediction. I mean, it's going to be like a hell of the match right now, but it feels like they have the star power. It be because it's not very frustrated about it. It's not very frustrated, but it seems like they're going for the title because it's really surprised because it should have it happen because look at the career. In reality, it should have never happened because it happened. Because right now, if you look at it over the last year for the career, LA Knight, ever disagreed about it never happened in the history of the business. I mean, there are no expectation because it feels like there's a lot of momentum put it off with the feud with Roman because I'm not gonna say really the sense of care because he's still like very solid face with the company they have, but it's it's gonna be like you're ready yet to be like the world champion type of guy. But I think it's gonna be like a solid place to be on WrestleMania. But I know that they just won the LA Night, but even though the hindsight was the best time, but it makes like very good sense because I know that the field with Aiden up. Now it's not enough for the mid Carter at the best, but he needs like a deserve like a title run, but he still get a huge reaction because he hasn't been out the ring for the make often, but he has still much momentum all around for this one. But I think this year, it could be like the breakthrough year of LA Knight going out for WrestleMania. And don't be surprised that after WrestleMania, could be on Backlash or Money in the Bank, could be having this redemption. It could be like a title shot.
Adam, thoughts?
This is going to be the match of the night. Because let me talk to you. LA Knight has all this fire. He's all this heat. He is the charisma. He is the guy. He needs to be in the main event, and he's got paired up with one of the best in our generation in AJ Styles. AJ Styles is going to make that match. He's made a lot of guys at WrestleMania. He had a great WrestleMania match with Undertaker. He's had great matches with a lot of these guys. And LA Knight is a guy that needs to be springboarded into the next stratosphere while he's beating guys. But LA Knight has got a couple marquee wins on his belt. AJ Styles winning at WrestleMania with all the people saying L.A. Knight, he deserves that moment in the sun. I think he's going to get it. No one better to pass that torch to him than the phenomenal one. Remember, he used to be the face that ran the place. Well, guess what? That's L.A. Knight right now, and L.A. Knight needs to be pushed up the card. Like I said, this is what I mean by we need new champions so we can have some new stories, some new faces, some new blood, because that old blood, it ain't doing it for me, and it ain't going to keep up with what AEW is doing. AEW is doing some big things over in their building, and if the WWE wants to keep their fans, I suggest they do what the fans want and kind of start to push some of these guys who deserve it up.
All right, all right. Here's the set here. I feel like this one is this does have potential match of the night status written all over it. I mean, he's talking about two phenomenal talents in the ring, man. But I don't think he gets settled tonight, man. I don't think he gets settled Sunday night. I think this is only just the beginning. I mean, the way for this build has been made really, really personal. I mean, LA Knight showing up at AJ Styles' home and all kinds of other. They have really truly made this kind of this rivalry really personal right now. And I think there's no way it's going to be settled with just this one match at WrestleMania on Sunday night. I think this match ultimately potentially can end in a double count out or something crazy, or with them just fighting to the back and just something to that sort. And I think we get then I think we get maybe a WrestleMania Backlash rematch with these guys with some kind of stipulation, like whether you put them in a cage or something of that sort, to really finally try to settle this thing. I think this is only just the beginning, but I think this definitely has match of the night written all over it, man. And I think it's going to be a great one to watch. And like I said, my two maybe favorites right now. Like I said, AJ Styles is absolutely my favorite. The LA Knight is right up there as well right now, man. He's doing great work, and I would love to see LA Knight get a special moment here in WWE because he's a phenomenal talent, man. He's been doing his thing for many years too, man. It's not him and AJ Styles are no strangers to each other. They worked together in TNA back in the day as well. So it's not like these guys are strangers to each other. Two very phenomenal talents. This is going to be a great match. And then next up, folks, the United States Championship will be on the line. Champion Logan
Oh
Paul
man,
defending
really?
his title in a triple threat match versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens.
Uh,
Adam.
tough here. I think Logan Paul has some good spots. I think it ultimately goes to like it might go to Randy Orton, um, just because again you brought him back and he hasn't been in the title picture. Prop up the USA title. I could easily see Kevin Owens doing it. I don't think Logan Paul is walking away as the champion. It's hard for me to call. I'm just going to say Randy Orton just for shits and giggles, because I think they didn't bring him back to do nothing, and Logan Paul has been built up with him. Kevin Owens kind of got thrown into the mix late, and while both deserve the title, Logan Paul goes away for a few months. You can go right back to Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, and them battling for that title going down the stretch. I don't know. I just think Randy Orton has had a year off, a year and a half off, right? Didn't really get to celebrate WrestleMania the way he wanted to the year before. So now I think they're going to reward him for coming back, putting in the hard work, and being the dominant force that he is. And then this isn't the end for Randy Orton. This is just the beginning. I'm sure he'll be in a lot of other programs going forward. But to put a title on him like a legend, I think that's what they might do. Just say, hey, man, Logan Paul can't be here every night. You can, let's go.
El Capitan.
Yes. Yes, about for the next fight. We're talking about for like the next fight for WrestleMania because I apologize for everything because right now because of the next fight. I mean that could be like the really excited to do about it, but I think the other fight between this one because after LA Knight and versus this one, but I think uh, I think Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton that could be like a really shocking at all because first of all, I wanted to see because I know there seems like a very potential of this one, but I think there's gonna be like another moment of Kevin Owens because I know that Kevin Owens deserves like a lot of things he could for the moment between for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn because remember about this he blotted out this one, but I think it is very surreal that it goes sort of like everything goes down for the triple threat match. But I think it has a very good experience at the cup because it's gonna be like a really wild. But it's gonna be like the bad match. It could be like a do for anything because it's gonna the match of the order. But the people can see because if you look at it, it still feels like very unreal that Randy Orton could be like this last dance. But I think that Kevin Owens has a lot of potential, but he really wants to understand it and wants to get like a great prediction. He got the great opportunity because he's right now is just jumping in out. But all we need is about it because they're gonna be like you see it about it. But I know there's gonna be like a lot of interference between Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. But it will seem like they're very good at it all. But we'll come out for the past enemies. We'll come out for the past enemies. But I think it's gonna be a little bit great. But if it has to go for like the disrespect that I have it for the Kevin Owens, I mean, this is gonna be like it really happen. But I think that Logan Paul retains for that title because I know that even though that's not being like the great on the mic or even on the ring, because I know that they have similarities with Jake Paul as the bosser, but I guarantee that he's gonna be retained but it's gonna be loose at the backlash should be like the part of the revenge because one of those main reasons if they're gonna loosen about it all, but don't be surprised that Logan Paul is gonna be retained at WrestleMania, but in backlash, some of the both like the Kevin Owens and Randy Orton would have the revenge. It would have like, taken all over again.
Just,
I see that.
I do tend to. I agree with you, Rafi, on that. I think somehow, some way, Logan Paul does walk out of Philadelphia with the United States title still around his
He can
waist,
use the nuts.
even though he'll still be in the
Yeah.
ring with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, who are absolutely two of the best in the business. But somehow, some way, Logan Paul, I think, will come out of Philadelphia with that title. And I'm not sure exactly what they do going forward, but I don't know what their plans are going to be. I don't know going down the line, but I just feel like somehow, yes, Logan Paul retains his title because WWE seems to they just like keeping this title on Logan Paul at this point. I don't know, but we'll see. But I right now I don't really have much of an assessment. I think this match will have some great moments in it. Obviously, I mean, you got to look at the competitors you have. Logan Paul is for however you feel about him. He really does perform well in the ring, like a seasoned veteran. Like he's been doing this for years, and like I said, KO and Randy Orton absolutely two of the best in the business. So I think we'll get a good match, and Logan Paul ends up winning. Oh, ECW. I'm sorry, guys. Paul Heyman, man. I can't believe he's the first person they inducted, man, and I can't believe they they start to show off with Paul Heyman. But I have to go back and look at the replay. So I got the vibe. I can't really hear it right now, but it's just great, man. Like I said, the Hall of Fame is always just has a way of I just feel it. Like I said, as an old school wrestling fan, you see some of the memories go down memory lane, see things that you haven't seen in years, man. But all right, I'm sorry. Let's get back to the show.
Mhm.
All right, next matchup we got for the WWE Women's Championship. Io Sky of Damage Control defending her title against the former leader of the Damage Control, Bailey. This is Bailey's first ever singles WrestleMania match. Sounds like an absolute travesty. But that's where we're at right now. Bailey in her first ever
She's gonna
singles
win.
WrestleMania match. And who we starting with this time? Adam. Take it
I
away.
listen. I think Bayley's gonna win. I'm gonna make it quick because this match is not really marquee for me. I think they're gonna give Bailey her moment because of what she's done. She was injured, then she comes back with a group, leads that group to prominence. That group backstabs them, and she hasn't had a singles match, and this is a title match. She deserves it. She's gonna get her moment. She's gonna take it from Io Sky, and then at Backlash, she might get another shot, but I think Bailey wins and she'll deserve it. And the crowd will chant, "You deserve it. You deserve it." So I think Bailey wins, and there's not much for it. It's been built up. It needs to happen, and there's only one outcome that I can see happening.
El Capitan. Thoughts?
Yes. I mean, for Io Sky versus Bailey, I mean, I do have it the more defense to see like at a more than a badass. I mean, I hope Bailey is gonna get it because she's been like in the business for almost 10 years and has never made a band WrestleMania. But I'm definitely gonna root for the Bailey on this one. But it's not gonna be like a really dumb. But it's gonna be like a really high positive because it's time for the move on for like a transitional champ. What did the duo is by the way, she's great on the ring. She's great at the microphone. There's nothing about a doubt about her. I mean, he's gonna be like gonna be destroyed for the next 2 months and then win this. Io has been in down for anything for the belt, not the belt or Harold. But I think it's time for the moving on for like a transitional champion will be because whatever they do, because you gotta be like a great in the ring, great presentation, but They has no character to engage with all of the people. I mean, how this is gonna be like my say WrestleMania, but it's gonna be like a great match. But it really got to fade out because there's two women's. How about to go for it? Doesn't because it's not gonna be like a forgettable because it's meant like the more worthy, even though they're the for the bloodline between for the skater between of Io Sky versus Bailey. I mean, it just like it needs like the main event for both women. I mean, that has their only two nights because they had Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, and they had Io Sky versus Bailey. I mean, it's gonna be like the bigger match, but it's like the big name, whatever some people they believe it or not. But I think it was be like deserve it because there literally there's each night the opening like set of the tone, but it's guaranteed like it's gonna be like it's still in the show, but it has the biggest stars. But this all made it how deep in and down, but it's got it's like the biggest women's match of the WrestleMania, but it's like the too much political for the usual suspect that it's mean be like very great to now to the push. It's already got it for the most she has wanted.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh look, here's how I mean, this is definitely set up for Bailey to absolutely have her moment, a moment that she absolutely deserves, man. It's all come full circle now. Bailey, who she had a great run, a great title run once when she first initially had went became a heel and turned heel and did all went to the dark side and did all that stuff and did all that with her career, and she had a great title run. And I think people forget about that as a heel though. And I think now she's back, babyface Bailey. You know the Bailey everybody always knew and loved, and now she gets this opportunity on the grandest stage, and I think that Io Sky will honestly take pleasure in dropping this title to Bailey, who pretty much is the reason why Io Sky is even on the main roster in the first place. And I think she'll have it's just that time and it's that moment. She'll have no problem being a part of Bailey's big WrestleMania moment that Bailey deserves, man. And like you said, Adam, you'll get the you deserve it chance. You'll get all of that good stuff, and she does deserve it because she's a company person, man. She's a homegrown talent, and she's always done whatever they've asked of her. No questions asked, man. She's definitely a loyalist to this company, and she just deserves this moment, man. Like I said, to me, it's unbelievable that she's. When I first heard that she had never had a singles WrestleMania match ever, and I was just like, that just didn't even sound right to me. I just can't understand it. But this is finally her time, and it'll be her time to
Well, she's
kick
injured a
in
lot.
that door and get that title. I mean, yeah, that's she had the one significant injury before returning and coming back with damage control. She was out. She was definitely on the shelf for damn near a good over a year, I believe. So now she's back, like I said, babyface Bailey, and she gets that opportunity, man, and she'll get to do it in front of a great Philadelphia crowd. I would assume there's going to be several members of the Hardcore Sports Network in attendance at WrestleMania, man. Shout out to some of the guys going down, man. AK, Mitch, Earl, Cole, Blaze. I hope I'm probably forgetting there's a couple other guys that might be in attendance there, but shout out to all those guys, man. They're gonna have a blast, man. I think Earl might be at the Hall of Fame right now at this ceremony right now. Shout out to Earl Cole, man, doing great things for the Hardcore Sports Network on the wrestling front, man. We're gonna try to hold it down best we can for you, Earl, this weekend, covering during the WrestleMania live streams while you gonna be live in the building. But now, back to the show. We got one more match to talk about, and y'all know exactly what it is. It is the main
Mhm.
event of WrestleMania. Will Cody Rhodes finish the damn story? Cody Rhodes taking on Roman Reigns for the second year in a row for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. And if things go the way we all think things may go, it's gonna be bloodline rules. El Capitan. Tell me how you feeling about this main event.
Oh man, I'm super pumped right now because I mean for the night two between Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Because let's take him back for the 2023. I know that Cody Rhodes didn't have the opportunity to beat him once, Roman Reigns. I mean, they just have it like a because it's sort of like a deja vu. But I think that it's gonna be like he's gonna finish the story. But I think it's gonna be like a really because right now there is like a assembly that comes out to explain how to be like because how to be like the beating up for this one right now because it will be foolish booking Roman Reigns losing an offer against Roddy Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. But I think that sometimes had to go to the face of the guy because sometimes trying to make it for the devils together after all years and years and random storylines, but ain't changing, not paying off for the regime because right now they're telling stories with some amount of logic because they never change. People didn't bother them for a sacrifice for that guy with the fits like the most since wanting since John Cena. I mean, the arguments that I go for it because it's gonna be like it's not gonna be like too late. But one is gonna ruin a good thing because part of the bloodline dramatic success was layered at consistent storytelling. Now the Rock is here to keep it going. But I think this is going off of the sub to the ways. But I think that because there's no reason that it could happen like this one. But I will tell it for this one because after it just saw for the WrestleMania 2023 when he just lost, I just realized that he needs a real redemption because he needs to build it up and finish a damn story. Because right now he needs to be involved, embraced because all those things that happened against for the Cody Rhodes, and I mean because the whole family between Goldust, also for Dusty Rhodes. I mean, he wants to finish that story because he wants to embrace all the fans to be a competitive right now because he wants to be like top of the stars right now because after he just doing at AEW and after he was debuted at WrestleMania 2022, I mean, there's gonna be like a great opportunity to see like a great redemption. But I don't see that Roman Reigns is gonna win because there's no chance. There's no chance because let Cody Rhodes finish the damn story and win the title because it's gonna be like a great shocker. But I will tell you this one: Roman Reigns will lose that title at WrestleMania and let Cody Rhodes finish the story and let's have it the moment for that title until it's happened because we want to see Cody Rhodes about for the title run and now Roman Reigns can't wait another year. So people want to see like chanting for Cody Rhodes, want to see to win the title, but it's gonna be like really impossible. But I believe that all the strength is gonna be like in Champions. But I'm not gonna spoil it out for the alert right now. But I want to see Cody Rhodes finish the damn story and win the title to embrace another history of his family.
Good stuff, Raphael. Adam, your thoughts on the main
So
event of WrestleMania?
this is where this is where it gets funky. This is where it gets froggy. The reason why I said they were going to lose on Saturday was because they're going to make Cody Rhodes earn the title. I heard something along the lines of Roman Reigns, if he goes in the main event on Saturday, he gets 8 main event appearances. And if he goes in on Sunday, he'll have 9 main event appearances at WrestleMania, which outlasts Hulk Hogan. So to me, that means, listen, you're at the top of the top. Go out, give out the title to somebody else. You don't need to beat Bruno Sammartino. You don't need to beat Hogan. You know, those days are different. Those were different times. You didn't have as many wrestlers back then. Now you do. Cody Rhodes, what the heck did you put him in this storyline for to have him lose? Why would you pick him to pick Roman Reigns again to lose? It does not make sense. I'm all about making sense these days. When I hear something and I look at something and something doesn't make sense to me, I call it out. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for you to do this because there's no lose. If he loses the title, no one's going to care about it at Backlash. It's not going to have the same effect. It's not going to have the same moment. It's not going to, the story wasn't complete. No one's going to want to say, hey, let's do it again. No, this is the moment. This is the time. It probably should have happened last year, but you kept it going. Now I know they're going to Daniel Bryan, Cody Rhodes. They're going to make him earn it. And I will put this swerve in here. Remember what started this whole thing? The Rock versus Roman Reigns. That's what started this whole thing. The Rock, who's the biggest guy, the final boss, You don't think he wants to sit at the head of the table? I think he cost Roman Reigns the title, and I think you'll see Roman Reigns versus The Rock at Backlash, not for a title, but for the head of the table, as you're seeing his grandma go into the Hall of Fame. He's going to want to point out that I am the guy. You have to take a backseat to me. I am the leader. I should be the leader of the bloodline, not you. And I think he's going to cost Roman Reigns the title because it would be a swerve of all swerves, right? Dusty Rhodes, all that stuff bleeding. Cody Rhodes has earned it. He is now your new face. He is doing Make-A-Wish. He is, of all your appearances, it's time. It's time, WWE. Roman Reigns has done everything. He also, his contract is ending. He's going to need some time as well. Do the right thing. Give the man his moment. Cody Rhodes and your new, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Couldn't agree with you guys more, man. I just don't see sensibly a scenario in which Cody Rhodes does not finally finish this damn story and win this title tomorrow night. And Adam, it's funny. You stole my thunder a little bit. I don't say you stole my thunder but at the end of the day, we're on the same page right now, man. I'm thinking just like you, man. I'm thinking there's no way, man. The Rock is second to no one. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He's second to no. He is the Rock.
Right.
He's not going to take second place to anybody. Not Roman Reigns, not anybody. He is, like you said, the final boss. And we're going to get that Roman Reigns and Rock match maybe down the line at SummerSlam or something like that. But and I agree. I think he will have an effect. He's going to be He's going to be the reason. It's going to cost Roman this title. It's going to totally shock Jimmy and Solo. They're going to not know what to do, not know how to react, wonder what the hell's going on. But I think it's going to be something crazy like that. I absolutely agree. The Rock is going to be heavily involved in this match, and I believe he's going to cost Roman that title. The final boss, man. He's not, like I said, he's not taking second fiddle. He's not going to sit there and be like and just concede to Roman Reigns like you're number one and I'm just going to be your number two guy. No, he's not that. That's not The Rock. What version of The Rock have you ever seen taking second fiddle to anybody? Come on. Nation of Domination? No. Nobody. He went in there and he joined that faction and became the creme de la creme of that faction to the point where they all turned on him because he was just the man and they couldn't handle that. They couldn't handle The Rock's energy, The Rock's juice. What's going on, Alex, man? Big Alex from Big Blue in the Bronx, man. Y'all make sure y'all go and sub up to my guy Alex, man. But no doubt indeed, man. The Rock is not taking second fiddle to anybody, man. There's no way. He's gonna cost Roman this title, and it's gonna finally set up the matchup that everybody's been waiting for. It's Roman and Rock, like you said, and it's not gonna be for a title because Roman ain't gonna have no damn title. It's gonna be for
You don't need it for a title.
It's gonna be like you said. It's just gonna be to finally let you know who is the head of this table, man. And it's gonna be interesting, and I look forward to it. But everybody, man, we've been doing this for over 2 hours now. It's been a great WrestleMania preview. I want to thank our special guest, El Capitan, Raphael, man, coming through, holding it down on this WrestleMania preview.
Yes, sir.
It's been a great show, you guys. Great content, breaking down each and every match for both nights of the show of all shows. And it comes to wrestling, man, WrestleMania 40 live.
Showcase
in
of the
Philadelphia
Immortals.
starting tomorrow evening. I mean, don't forget tomorrow afternoon at the Wells Fargo Center. You got NXT Stand and Deliver. They're gonna be bringing the heat too as well. That I got a feeling that's gonna be a really good show. Main event in that is gonna be Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. Whoop that Trick. Trick Williams is one of the fastest rising stars right now in the industry, man, in WWE. So that should be a good show in the afternoon. And after that, tune in for night one of WrestleMania, man, live at the Lincoln Financial Field, man. I'm Mac the Giants fan. That's my guy, Adam Costas, the super dope co-host. Raphael, our special guest, filling in. We really appreciate man. This has been a great show, man. Zion will be back next week. And throwing on fours up for our guy YG Jeffy T, man. This is one of his favorite times of the year, WrestleMania, man. And wish he was gonna be here to enjoy it, but he will be enjoying it from where he is too, man. No doubt indeed. I'm Mac the Giants fan. That's Adam Costas. That's El Capitan. And we'll see y'all next week on another edition of the Premium Takes
Yes,
Podcast.
sir.
Hey!